Hello, Spiritual Noob community. Welcome in. We are going to do the all signs reading, starting with a collective message. If you check out your sun sign and don't resonate with the message, check out your big three, your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign. And if you don't resonate with those, check back next week. I'll be doing another reading. And also check out the collective message, because there may be something in there that you can resonate with. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Don't try to force everything to fit. And I think that's all I have to say for today. I hope you guys had a good week. I hope you have an even better upcoming week. And let's get into your collective message. Let me pull an oracle card for you. So we have Phoenix for your oracle cards. We also have Earth Spirit with stability. And we have Spirit Garden of Autumn with letting go. So this is interesting because I feel like as a collective, we are going through a transmutation of energy on the micro and on the macro level. And I actually believe that this is leading to a lot of instability. People really, of course, when you're going through the process of the Phoenix, of the dying off and being reborn into something new, you're not going to feel very stable, right? You're not always going to feel very sure of yourself in this process. You're going to, the things that you really need to let go with the Spirit Guardian of Autumn, things that really need to be let go in your life are going to become more apparent. They're going to come to the forefront, right? People's devil energy is coming out with the devil card here. I got the Queen of Pentacles too, sideways, which is kind of like, there's something about this devil energy, which is interesting because I believe both the Queen of Pentacles and the devil, Capricorn, kind of represents those cards, if I'm not mistaken. So it's interesting because the Queen of Pentacles is sideways, right? And the Queen of Pentacles is ruling over the material realm. So this, when it comes out sideways, this is always an indication to me that it could be upright or it could be reversed. This is upright or reversed, right? So we kind of don't know which. And the devil energy here is making some kind of impact on the Queen of Pentacles. So I almost feel like this Queen of Pentacles is you. And it's everybody, right? It's the mirroring experience that we're having with our inner self and with our outer self. The ourselves being reflected in other individuals in society, and really figuring out, being able to discern who is representing the Queen of Pentacles upright and who is representing the Queen of Pentacles reversed, right? This devil energy is just, I feel like it's representative of all of the like muck and dirt that's coming up to be transmuted, all of the wounds and the traumas that are coming up, again, both and on the micro level and on the macro level, right? All this stuff is coming up, and we're starting to like see things in different ways and get different perspectives and kind of really see who is representing this earthly realm. Not only who is representing the earthly realm in a positive way or a shadowy way, right? But like, what is representing the earthly realm in a positive way? Like, what parts of ourselves, right? And it really starts with ourself. It starts with examining the self. And I just got a look at what's at the back of the deck with Seven of Wands reversed. Seven of Wands reversed is about a lack of boundaries. So there may be some things in your life that you may want to put stronger boundaries up against, like people, places, and things that are of a lower shadowy, more shadowy energy that you really want to be involved in, right? Because we need to put up boundaries around things that are causing us to not live as abundantly as we would like to live, or maybe even lose aspects of that abundance in our lives. This is a collective reading right now. I'm gonna pull a couple more cards. So we have Nine of Cups, right? This is about wishes fulfilled and knowing what it is we are wishing for, right? Because as we start to discern what aspects of the material world are like positive, what aspects are more shadowy, what is in alignment with us and what is not in alignment with us, right? We start to like wish for things that are in alignment with us. Like maybe it's not materialized into our reality already, but we're the phoenix, right? We're transmuting energy, we're becoming something else, and when we become that something else, we are able to attract the things that we wish into our lives more easily. With the Fool, we're going on a new journey, right? We're becoming the phoenix. We are the phoenix. We're transmuting energy. There's a death of the ego and a rebirth, right, into something new. With the Fool, right, we're going on a new journey. And I think we're going on a new journey, again, on an individual level, and we're also going on a journey on a macro level. And I would just say that if we want to impact the macro level, right, if we want to end the wars and end the fighting and end like all the things on the macro level, it really starts on the micro level, because the micro reflects the macro, right? So it's like looking at our own lives and saying, what part of my life is a little shadowy? What part of my life is high vibration? Like I'm going to lean into those high vibe aspects of my life, and I'm going to try to transmute the energy of the shadow aspects of my life, right? So that takes you on a new journey on a micro level, on an independent level. And that process has ripple effects into the macro, right? So if we really want to make change on a macro level, it starts with us individually. So that is the collective reading. Let's get into Aries. We have Willow Spirit with flexibility and Spirit Guardian of Autumn with letting go. I want to pull the card at the back of the deck too. We have Aspen Spirit with courage. So for Aries, we have flexibility, letting go, and courage. Maybe there are some things that you haven't been very flexible about. Maybe there are some grudges that you're kind of holding on to, and it would be helpful to let it go, or to see it from a different perspective at least. And it may take a lot of courage for you to do that, right? Well, with Aspen Spirit, it's the number 3 card. And that just makes me think of like, it's courage, but also like your guides are with you, right? So you're not having to do this alone. Ask for help. I feel like there's something that you've had very strict, like, boundaries up. You put boundaries up against something, or you put a wall up against something. And it may be time to like examine those boundaries a little bit more. There's someone here who has taken actions that weren't like the best, like they weren't divinely inspired actions. And there's a need to learn from that here with the Page of Wands reversed. So this may be you, right? This may be aspects of yourself. Like, what have you done? Really looking at, like, because it's easy to play the blame game with situations and be like, well, you did, because people do stuff, right? But there's always a deeper meaning to the things that people are doing. And there's always like a mirroring aspect of what it is other people are doing. So what can we learn from what other people are doing, and also what can we learn from our own actions, right? How can we heal? How can we use that information, that learning from our own actions? Like, I did this and this happened. Like, what is that saying about my energetic state? What is it saying about the traumas that I need to heal inside myself, right? If I'm going from bad relationship to bad relationship to bad relationship, what's the common denominator, right? The common denominator is you, and the common denominator would be the trauma that those relationships are reflecting back at you. So what can you, when you look at those relationships or whatever it is, right? It's just an example. But if you look at those relationships, what is it teaching you about yourself and what needs to be healed within you? You also have temperance. So there's a balancing that needs to happen between, the spiritual and the physical. Like, maybe, like, right now is the time I feel like where spirit is really kind of like saying, hey, it's time for people to wake up to some things, right? So maybe you've looked at life in a very kind of like from a very earthly perspective in the past. I don't know why that word was so hard to get out. Maybe you've looked at the world from a very earthly perspective in the past, and spirit is saying it's time for you to like balance that energy, because we need to be able to see both perspectives, right? The spiritual and the physical. And also there may have been an overgiving in the past to situations, right? So it's important to not just look at those situations as like, man, you really took advantage of me, right? Because if that keeps happening, what's the message in that? Why do I keep getting into situations where I'm overgiving? I'm continuously overgiving, right? There's a reason why I'm finding myself in that situation over and over again. Because there's a resistance with the Eight of Cups reversed at the back of the deck. There's a resistance to walking away from a certain energy, right? That's being reflected in your current experiences. There's a need to let go. There's some trauma that needs to be let go of. Because if that trauma isn't healed, and that trauma with the Star card, if the trauma isn't healed and it's not transmuted, then you're going to continue to see that experience show up in your reality over and over and over again. So that's the reading for Aries. We're going to go into Taurus. Got butterfly spirit with transformation and willow spirit with flexibility. Again, Aries got that. You also got maple spirit with generosity and foggy bog with patience. So again, like with flexibility, I feel like I just feel like, I feel a lot of stiffness. And this is the second group that this card has come out for. I feel a lot of stiffness. I feel a lot of resistance. But there's an ending of a cycle here with the World card that just came out. And there's a transformation. So allow that transformation to come in for you. Generosity. How have you been generous? How have you not been generous in your life? Maybe you, I was just listening to a reel earlier today. I don't know why this is coming up for me during this reading, but I'm sure it connects somehow. I was listening to a reel where this guy, he was building a dog house for these people, I think neighbors. And he was doing it for free, and they didn't ask for him to do it for free. But he was saying, I just kind of like, you know, I have the ability to do it. So I just kind of like doing stuff for free for people, right? And money for him, I mean, obviously he had the money to do stuff for free for people, and money was like not an object for him. But you know, he's like, people always ask me like, why are you running around doing this stuff for free? Like, you should be charging. And he was like, I can do it, and I just like to do it. So I'm bringing this story up because maybe there needs to be some flexibility in your idea of what generosity looks like, right? Because we don't always have to do things expecting something in return, right? Because we might feel like, well, I did this for this person, I did that for this person, but we may have had strings attached to that, right? We may have been thinking like, well, I'm gonna do this for you, but I'm gonna need you to XYZ. And we can't really we can't attach those strings to other people. Like, it's like, if we're going to do something for somebody else, it really should be coming from the heart. And that doesn't mean that we have to do these things for other people, right? It doesn't mean we have to, but it just means that there doesn't always have to be a quid pro quo involved, right? It's like, I'm doing this for you out of the kindness of my heart. And maybe there needs to be like an examining of like, when you do things for other people, are you doing it out of the kindness of your heart, or are there some strings attached to it in some sort of way, right? And, you know, with the foggy bog, like in the patience. So, okay, you got butterfly spirit with transformation, and you got foggy bog with patience. So this stuff that I'm talking about, like, be patient with yourself, right? Be patient with the inner. Like, I feel like I'm talking to a group of people that may be going through some, whether you totally realize it or not, you're going through some inner work. You're evaluating yourself a little bit, right? And be patient with yourself, because it's not going to happen all at once. You know, don't shame yourself. Just look at your experiences and your actions, your past actions. Just look at it for what it is, and as a learning experience. It's not good or bad. It just is what it is, right? But there's a cycle that's closing. And I think it's a cycle of lack of abundance. Whatever you've been doing in the past hasn't really been working for you in terms of like really bringing you what you want. There's been the plans that you've been making for yourself have been falling through. You know, there's an imbalance. Two of Pentacles reversed. There's an imbalanced nature about how you've been moving through the world, right? And that's the transformation that has to happen, is that there needs to be taking more divinely inspired action and really moving through the world with intention and awareness, right? Page of Swords. So this is that awareness, learning how to move through the world with more awareness and more a conscious state of awareness, and have patience with yourself through this process. You will be successful at the end, you know, with the four of Wands at the back of the deck. You'll be successful, and you'll have more structure. You'll have more things in your life that you can really celebrate. But this is a difficult process. Have patience with yourself. And really, really look at yourself. Like, learn to discern when you're being truly generous and when there are strings attached. And realize that you don't always have to do things, like, do things because you want to do things for people. Don't do things because you feel you have to, because you don't have to do anything. We're not obligated to do anything in life. Okay, that's your reading, Taurus. I'm going to go on to Gemini. I'm putting that back in the deck because I feel like I haven't. Okay, let's do Gemini energy. Okay, we have Moonlight Enchantment with Magic and the Phoenix with Transmutation. So that came out for the collective reading. So you may be really feeling the transmutation that's going on with you right now. It feels magical. Like I feel like you're really feeling the energy of it right now. And I love that for you, Gemini. It's awesome when that happens. I feel like you may, I don't know, you may be coming out of a situation like a tower situation. Yeah, I got four of wands reversed. Like you may be coming out of a situation where things weren't really working out for you in the way that you wanted them to. Maybe you, yeah, there's been a lot of grief. I feel like it hasn't been a great season for you. And you're coming out of that, but there's a transmutation that's happening. You're learning how to build boundaries around negative energies. With the Seven of Wands, you're building boundaries around negative energies. You know, you're coming out of heartache and pain. You're not allowing that energy in your life anymore. You're coming out of the energy of chaos and conflict. Yeah, I feel like you're turning a lot of things around for yourself. Yeah, the sun. Oh my gosh. I'm going to leave it at that because I think you have a lot of great magical things coming in for you with, magic. I think you've been through it. You're coming out of it. You're transmuting a lot of energy and you're going to be successful. Good things are coming in for you. And it's going to feel like magic when it comes in. Love that reading for you, Gemini. Let's move on to Cancer. Okay, we have Moonlight Enchantment with Magic again. And Bluebell Fairy with Gratitude. I feel like... And we have Elves with Playfulness. And Reflecting Pool with Stillness. So many energies coming out for you, Cancer. I feel like you're in a place too, I was saying this for Gemini, but I feel like you're in a place too, Cancer, where you're coming out of something. You're coming out of a period of time that was difficult, and I think you're entering a period of time where you're more just enjoying things a little bit more right now. You're able to see the beauty in your life right now, maybe in a way that you couldn't before. And you're able to really enjoy it. Maybe you're even giving back to it too with the Six of Pentacles that came out here. I have Six of Pentacles. I have Two of Swords. I have Eight of Cups. I have Justice. And I have Nine of Wands reversed at the back of the deck. So yeah, this is there's definitely, Cancer, there's definitely like a long struggle that you've been through that you're kind of coming out of. You have Six of Pentacles. You're able to give back. I don't know who you're giving to. Maybe to yourself. You're able to give to a situation in ways that you weren't able to before. You have Two of Swords. This is about making a decision. Like, I really feel like you made a decision to love on yourself and love on your own life, right? You walked away from energies with the Eight of Cups. You walked away from energies that weren't great for you, that were keeping you in this Nine of Wands kind of situation where you weren't able to see the magic in your life. You also have the Justice card, and this is about weighing things. So this is like Libra, two Libra cards, right? So this is about, and we also have the scales here. So there's something about Libra in this reading. Something about Libra in this reading. But yeah, you're balancing, you're finding joy in things. You're choosing to find joy in things in a way that maybe you weren't before. I want to get a little bit more information. What's this choice? I want to know what this choice is. Okay. So there's something that was a burden for you. You have the Empress reverse. So this can be the so the Empress is mother energy. It's feminine energy. It's abundance. It's connected to Venus. So it's a loving energy. But something about this Empress energy has been a burden for you. The shadow aspect of it is coming out. You also have Three of Pentacles. So this is about building with a community of people. So there's something about building with a community of people that has not been exactly what you wanted it to be. You're going on a new journey, but this new journey is being resisted. You're walking away from something. This is so interesting. You have the Judgment card at the back of the deck. There's some kind of something that you're going through right now that is meant to give you an awakening. You may be resisting it a little bit. I'm not sure. You know, I was saying in the beginning with magic and gratitude and playfulness and stillness that maybe you're coming out of a phase. But there's also a lot of resistance to like going on this new, going to this new place. I almost feel like it's like there may be some things that you're choosing. It's like the decision that needs to be made. There may be some things that you're choosing not to really deal with. Let me get one more card. And two more cards, I'm kind of hearing. Queen of Swords reverse. Yeah, there's a truth. There's a truth that you're resisting. There's something that you don't really want to deal with. So it's almost like the you may be in a place where you're not really wanting to look at the entirety of a situation or really totally see it clearly. Like you may not be wanting to. There's something that it's like you're walking away. You're not really wanting to see the truth of something. You're not, or you may even be leaning into, I don't know, I almost feel the energy of like You know how like when you don't want to see something, you don't see it even if it's right in front of your face? But you have the sun at the back of the deck too, which is, there's something, I think that there's something here that is worth celebrating, and you're giving your energy to that. I think there may be a lot here that is not worth celebrating and is meant to teach some lessons. And instead of really, I don't think that right now you're ready to look at the lessons that are being sent your way. It's like you're just kind of like, I'm gonna put that on the back burner for a minute, because let me deal with this thing that is worth celebrating, that's making me happy. Let me focus on this, right? Because these other things, they don't make me so happy, right? I don't know. This might have something to do with a baby. You have the Empress and you had the Sun cards. The Sun card can often do with inner child work, or a child, in a sense. So, you know, do with that what you want. With the Fool card reversed here too, this is like kind of like new, young energy also. So for some of you, I'm feeling like baby vibes. There may be a situation where like someone is pregnant and the situation revolving around the pregnancy may not be great, but you're kind of like, hey, right now is not the time for me to worry about all that. Like, I want to just be happy with my pregnancy or whatever. Or even if it's somebody else's pregnancy, you may be like, there may be some issues there, but you may be kind of like, okay, hey, now is not the time to deal with all that. Let me just celebrate this pregnancy. You know, it's something like that. It could also be like, anytime like vibes of a baby come up, it can also just be like something else that's being birthed into the world. So take that as it resonates. And the Sun, for some of you, this is just going to be about the success of something. If there's something in your life that you're worried about, first of all, don't like ignore the energy, because there will be success. Like, transmute that energy, you know, work on transmuting the energy. And there will be success. Like right now, it feels like a burden with the Ten of Wands. It feels like a burden right now, but work on transmuting that energy, and you will find success at the end of the day. I feel like Cancers, there's a lot going on with you guys right now. I'm feeling a lot of different energies. But yeah, if there's some stuff there that needs to be dealt with, if now is not the right time, that's okay, right? You can put it on the back burner a little bit, but just don't put it on the back burner forever. You know, just be like, because you can tell your guides like, hey, you know, like, I'm only able to deal with what I can deal with. Like, don't give me more than I can deal with right now. But do come back to it, right? Because especially right now, this is the time I feel like when people are being really pushed a lot to deal with their internal stuff. So you're not going to be able to put it on the back burner forever. That is the reading for Cancer. Let's go on to Leos. A Bluebell Fairy with gratitude. Storm Spirit with chaos. Sacred Spring with success. Gratitude, chaos, success, flexibility, and generosity. So the first thing I'm thinking is learn to be grateful for the chaos in your life. Like, learn to be grateful for the chaos, because we always learn lessons from every storm that blows through our life. There's a lesson to be learned there. So learn to appreciate those storms and learn the lessons, right? so that you can have success moving on. You can have more success in your life on the other end of it if you learn the lesson while you're in it, right? Have the flexibility to say, you know, hey, this thing is happening and it doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great, but I know it's for my best interest, and there's something that I'm meant to be learning from this, right? And you have generosity, right? Maybe Leo, maybe right now, one of the lessons that you're meant to be learning is what true generosity looks like. I don't know if you're going through a storm right now, Leo. But possibly. I don't know if you're... Let's see what the cards say. Let's see what the tarot says. Maybe this is just, I feel like this is just a general message of like, be grateful for the storms that happen in your life. I'm not necessarily, some of you may be currently in a storm. I think a lot of people in the collective are going through their own personal storms right now. And then obviously on a macro level, we're kind of going through a storm right now. But I think this is just saying to learn to be grateful for the storms that come in your life, because there's lessons learned from that. And there's success. Every time we learn something new, we grow in consciousness, right? And there's always good things that are going to come from that. Okay, we have 10 of Cups, we have the Moon, we have Death card reverse, we have King of Pentacles reverse, we have the Ace of Pentacles reverse. Ten of Cups is about having everything you want, right? And you have the Moon card. There may be a confusion about how to get there. How to get, you have an idea of what you really want in your mind, but you may be a little confused about how to get there right now. You have the Death card reversed. There's something that needs to end. That there's a resistance to the ending of something. A cycle that needs to be ended, a loop that you need to step out of. King of Pentacles reverse. There may be times when you're looking at things a little too materialistically. You know, you're waiting for things to manifest, like a little to the point where you may be blocking your manifestations. And that may be what needs to end in order for you to get your manifestations. Like, stop focusing on it so much. Learn how to just chill, just be. And learn how to just be generous in your life. Just move through life with generosity. Yeah, because you're working hard to get your abundance, but you're not seeing it yet. So there's some kind of block there. And it may have to do with the actions that you're taking. Maybe you're not doing what it is you are meant to be doing, right? For that abundance to come to you. Maybe it's not the time yet also. Have a little bit more flexibility. And don't expect everything to come like right now. Yeah, just have gratitude for your life on a daily basis, right? Learn how to appreciate where you are and, you know, stop always looking ahead to where you want to go. So that is the message for Leo. I'm going to move on to Virgo. You have Virgo, you have butterfly spirit with transformation, moonlight enchantment with magic, and forest temple with enlightenment. That makes me happy as a Virgo. Oh, Lord. There's one more card peeking through. And we have foggy bog with patience. So maybe you're waiting for this transformation and all this magic and enlightenment to happen. The Spirit is saying just be patient. You know, maybe you're forcing it a little bit. Page of Cups reverse, the High Priestess reverse, 10 of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, the Empress reverse, 3 of Swords reverse, and 10 of Cups reverse. There's something here about Virgo, about paying attention to your emotional state. You may be dipping in and out of like a higher vibe state, which is natural, right? There's this natural, it's not, you know, the road to enlightenment isn't like a straight road. It's a windy road, right? So you may be like dipping in and out of these states of consciousness where you may feel very enlightened, and then the next you may be all up in your ego, right? So pay attention to that and really learn from those swings. There's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing to shame yourself about it or anything, but just be like aware of when you're not, you know, and discern like when you're not really listening to your intuition. You have 10 of Wands, which is about burden. Because I think you may be adding some burden to yourself by starting to fall into these cycles of worrying about things that are not really necessary for you to be worrying about. And Spirit may be saying, stop worrying about that stuff. You don't need to worry about that, but you may be like worrying about it anyway. Right? If that makes sense. And it's a burden, right? These things that Spirit is saying, stop thinking about that. Stop worrying about that. It's becoming a burden for you because you're not listening to Spirit. You have 2 of Pentacles. I'm laughing because I'm a Virgo too, and I can relate. You have 2 of Pentacles. It's about balance. So you may be, generally speaking, you may be a pretty balanced person, and you may be trying to maintain that. You have the Empress reverse. This is a feminine energy. It's a nurturing energy, a maternal energy of abundance. The shadow aspect of this is coming out. So this could represent you. It could represent like your mother or the main nurturer in your life. But the shadow aspect of this Empress is coming out. And with the High Priestess reverse here too, this may just be another indication that you're not really listening to your intuition all the time. You're not like totally being guided by intuition, and you need to pay attention to that because you're nurturing like a shadow energy. You have 3 of Swords reversed, and this is about coming out of like pain and heartache. So maybe like nurturing these more shadowy energies kind of like give you the brief satisfaction of feeling like you are coming out of pain and heartache. But really you have the 10 of Cups reverse. So really there is something real here to look at and be. There are things happening that are causing a lot of pain and heartache, right? But Spirit is saying stop focusing on it so much, right? Have a little patience. It's going to take enlightenment to have patience through this situation, because it is a difficult situation with the Ten of Cups reversed. It is difficult and it is causing a lot of pain, right? So it's going to take a lot of looking at it from a higher spiritual perspective and patience to really get through it without driving yourself crazy. And you may not always be listening to Spirit. You know, it may be difficult. Like maybe things come up and you fall right into your ego self, right? But have a little patience, you know, and you can do it though. Because you are balanced. Like, you know, not only, like, are you, this card, the Two of Pentacles, is right in the middle. There's 7 cards laid out in front of me. And it's like the 4th card in. So it's like 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, and the Two of Pentacles is right in the middle. Which is like, it's almost like a teeter-totter. It's like the middle, the balance point of the teeter-totter. So maybe that's what you need to be, right? You really need to be that center point. Like you need to stay centered, stay still, while even though if there's a lot of chaos happening around you, don't get involved in it. Be that center point of the teeter-totter. Is that seesaw? I don't know. You know what I mean? Be that center point, that balance point, right? Don't get swept away in all the stuff that's happening around you. Because I think you may be, in some way, shape, or form, you may be getting swept up right now in something. So pay attention to that and reel yourself back in. Because you are enlightened enough. I feel like you have a level of awareness that you can reel yourself back in, right? You just need to make the decision to do that. And it might take magic with Moonlight Enchantment. It might feel like, man, it's gonna take a lot of energy. Right? And maybe like with the transformation card, maybe it's something you're working on. Maybe you're not totally there yet. Maybe you need to have patience with yourself, have patience with others. I think there's different people in this group who are in different places. So some of you may be in a place where you have reached that kind of enlightened place. But, you know, we're still human, right? We still have to balance the physical with the spiritual. And so there may be times where we're kind of dipping down into lower energies, right? And we have to recognize that and pull ourselves out of it. And some of you may not be there yet. Like I know for me, there was definitely times when I was going through my process. And I'm still going through that, through my process of healing and stuff like that. But there are times when I would say I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to go there yet, to think about it in that way. Like I kind of was aware of, I want to get to the point where I can see this situation in this way, but I wasn't ready. You know, I was like, I would say like, I'm not enlightened enough to see it in that way, right? But as time goes on, you do get to that place where you can start to see it in that way. So be patient with yourself, because you will get there, right? Healing doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. Be intentional about it, right? Just ask for it. I'm going to move on to Libra. And Libra, you were coming up in the Cancer reading, so you may want to check that reading. There may be something significant in there for you. That's why when I'm doing, when I'm in like in the middle of readings, sometimes I feel like I'm just talking nonsense. And then I look back on it and I'm like, it's not that bad. Oh, apparently this card wants to come out. In the middle of it, I'm like, that was just pure trash. That reading was horrible. And I'm looking back and I'm like, that actually made kind of some sense. So we have Raven Spirit with truth, Wizard of the Woods with focus, Bluebird Spirit with happiness. So focus on the truth that makes you happy. Focus on your own truth, right? Don't focus on other people's truth. Don't be swayed to think in a way that other people want you to think, right? Because your truths, your individual truths, and this is the same, what I'm about to say is the same for everybody, right? There is no singular truth that people need to come around to. People are on the road to figuring out what they're meant to figure out in life. And we need to let where people are be okay, and we need to let where we are for ourselves be okay, right? Because when you focus on your own truth, that's going to bring you happiness. That's going to help you get in alignment with where you're meant to be in life. So it's interesting that truth came out, right? Because we have the Ace of Swords reversed here. So this is kind of like a hidden truth, learning something that's not great, right? Maybe you found out the truth about something and it's not, it's not something that's making you happy. You may be learning something that's not great. Like maybe I feel like you just learned the truth about something. You have Nine of Swords, stress and anxiety. Yeah, there's some kind of truth that you learn that's giving you stress and anxiety. Or it may be in your head, because that's kind of an indication of the Nine of Swords, is that we stress about stuff, but it's really like all in our head. It's like a bad dream type of deal. You have the Sun, which is about success, innocence, inner child energy. You have Nine of Cups reversed, which is about, I always call it the death of a dream. And the Hierophant. You may have learned something recently that is kind of killing a dream you had for yourself in your life. A dream that is kind of like a traditional dream. Like, for instance, we have, so traditionally, it's like, I do well in school, I go to college, I meet my significant other in college, I have 2.5 kids and a dog, like, within the 10 years that I graduate from college. Like, there's these steps that we take traditionally for, like, a happy life. And there may be something about one of those steps that was like a dream for you. And there's something about something you learned recently that has kind of killed that dream. For some of you, and this is not everybody in this group, but for some of you, someone may have learned here that maybe your dream was to have a child. Maybe there's something here about learning that you can't have a child. I'm feeling that energy for somebody, but that's obviously not going to be for everybody. And if that's the case, focus on the things in your life that are positive, right? Focus on the things in your life that will bring you happiness. And I'm saying that because of the 3 oracle cards that came out for you with truth, focus, and happiness. Focus on your happiness, right? Because there are things in your life to be happy for, regardless of if you just found out that there's something in your life that's killing a dream that you had for yourself. Like, there are other things in your life to be happy for, and there are things coming in your life to be happy for. So believe that, know that, and wait for it to come in. That is the reading for Libra. We're going to go on to Scorpio. Alright, we're going to use this one. We have Wise Women of the Grove with Grace. You have Hummingbird Spirit with Joy. You may need to give someone grace or give yourself grace. Maybe you're being hard on yourself or others right now. Because there's something about that that's kind of killing your joy. I'm reading for Scorpio right now. The edited version of this video will be posted tomorrow. There's some kind of something that you learn with the Ace of Swords. Information that's coming in for you. I don't feel like it's bad information, but for some reason it's like you're being asked to give someone, either yourself or someone else, grace. Maybe you're being asked to do something new with the Page of Wands. Give yourself grace. Because maybe what you were doing before wasn't really working out for you. You weren't able to build what you wanted to with the Three of Pentacles reversed here. There's something that you were trying to build up to before that wasn't really working out. And you have the High Priestess, which is about, you are getting like intuitive hits to tell you to go in a new direction. It may be a little scary though for you. And there's Three of Swords reversed. So this is about coming out of pain and heartache. I don't know. Maybe there was something you were doing that didn't work out. Maybe this is a relationship that ended. You thought you were going to build a family with a person. Maybe you're being asked to give that person grace or give yourself grace. You know, because sometimes we can like, if we end a relationship, we can like be hard on ourselves for like choosing that person in the first place. Like, what did I ever see in that person? But like, give yourself grace, because there's a reason. Like every relationship we get in, there's a lesson and a blessing in it for us. And you also have the Empress here at the back of the deck. Maybe there are kids involved here. The Empress is a maternal energy, feminine energy, energy of abundance. So maybe you were in a situation trying to build a family with somebody. And the reason, like the energy behind the deck is the Empress card. So maybe like sometimes like, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling strongly like sometimes the reason for a relationship is like the kids that we bring into that relationship. So take this as it resonates for you, because that's the energy I'm feeling. Like it doesn't have to be just kids in a relationship. Something that was born out of this situation, right? You were trying to build something. Maybe you were trying to build up your family relationships, right? And it wasn't working out really well. And so you're starting to take a new approach, right? Like maybe you got the divine inspiration that said, or intuition that was saying, this is not working this way. So you're starting to take a new approach, an approach that's going to help you come out of pain and heartache, right? And there's this nurturing energy, there's this receptive energy, this mothering energy at the back of all of this, right? So there's something about that. However, I think that energy relates to everyone listening to this reading, but it's going to relate in different ways. So, you know, you have to discern for yourself, like, how does this relate to me? All right, Scorpio. Let's go on to Sagittarius. Saggies. Ooh, a pine spirit with purification. Thicket of thorns with uncertainty. An earth spirit with stability. Yeah, how do you find stability when there's uncertainty? Purification. So first of all, right now, I think we are going through a purification of sorts, you know, transmutation of energy on the macro and the micro level. The macro reflects the micro. So there is that purification of energy, and it's happening in all of our lives. So be aware of that. Like, don't just look at like what's happening on the macro and think, well, none of that has to do with me, right? Because it does. There's things. In fact, the best way to influence the macro, if we want to see changes on a macro level, is to work on our own personal bullshit, really. Our own personal stuff, because our energy in our own personal lives is going to filter up into the collective. So purify your own energy, and that's the best way to purify the energy of the collective. We have 4 of Pentacles. We have 2 of Cups. So there may be uncertainty financially too here, I feel like. And stability, yeah. For some of you, this is going to be about financial stability. It's not going to be for all of you. But you have 4 Pentacles, which is really about like holding tight to what you have, like how he's clutching those coins. So this is really paycheck to paycheck energy, but it can also be about like holding tight to your like personal trauma, like your energy. You have 2 of Cups, which is about like relationships, partnership. So if it's about money, this could be like about a partnership in a work career situation. But there's uncertainty in it. If it's not about career, obviously this could be about a partnership in your family, partnership with a friend, a partnership, like a love partnership. You also have Justice, which is Libra energy. This is balancing the scales. This is like, I keep coming back to money. There's something about balancing the scales when it comes to money here. You have Ace of Pentacles, which is just like things being manifested. So I don't know. So you have two of Cups. This is not like a negative relationship or anything, but there's something about money in this relationship. And you know where my mind is kind of going is like joint finances. It's kind of what I'm like hearing. So for some of you that may relate, for some of you not, but also in a work setting, you may be in a situation where like you have a partner and jointly you're kind of having to balance some kind of situation, whether it be a financial or a workload or whatever, some kind of like energetic commodity, let's say. In this situation, you're having to balance it with this person. And so you're trying to find stability with that. And Ace of Pentacles, yeah, Ace of Pentacles is about things that are being manifested in. So I need to get a little bit more information. Got the High Priestess. So like really listen to your intuition. I don't know. There's some questions that you have around this. Spirit is saying listen to your intuition. Like for instance, if you're in a relationship and conversations have come up about joint finances, if you have like a gut feeling that's saying do one thing over the other, like listen to your gut. Right? Whatever question you have, if there's something kind of pointing you in a certain direction, listen to that. There may be some kind of legal document that needs to be signed, taken care of with the Hierophant here. But this doesn't seem like a bad situation. You have the Sun at the back of the deck. I feel like this is a pretty energetically stable situation. I just think that like you have some questions about how to go about it. Just listen to your intuition, right? That's just what that's all the reading is really saying for you, Sagittarius. Very non-dramatic reading for Sagittarius this week. You guys don't have a whole lot going on. Let's look at Capricorn. What's going on with Capricorn? I feel like the energy's been kind of heavy with Capricorn lately. We have Dragon with power and Thicket of Thorns with uncertainty. Yeah, see? Heavy energy, Capricorns. Maybe there's an uncertainty about how to wield the power that you have in a given situation. Capricorns are I feel like they're a very stable sign. They're very on top of things. They're very grounded. You may be used to really like kind of taking charge of situations. You may be dealing with a situation that you're having a hard time figuring out how to make this situation work. And maybe you're not familiar. That's an unfamiliar feeling for you. Okay, Capricorn, we have the Empress reverse and we have King of Wands reverse. Queen of Cups. You got a masculine and a feminine energy. Both came up in the shadow position. And then you have Queen of Cups, which is a feminine energy that came upright. The Empress reverse is like, the Devil reverse. There may be something going on that's trying to kind of work out some kind of devil energy in your life. The Empress reverse is a feminine energy, nurturing energy, motherly energy. Doesn't have to be female. But the shadow aspect of this energy is coming out. And then you have the King of Wands reverse, where this is a masculine energy of action, but the actions are not necessarily divinely inspired actions. I almost feel like this Empress reverse and King of Wands reverse. I mean, this is going to be for all of you. For some of you, this is going to be two different people. Like, this might be even a mother and father. Like, maybe a masculine energy. Doesn't have to be male or female. It's just, I'm just going by with the cards. But, like, you know, whoever is the masculine energy in the situation may be taking really negative actions. And maybe the Empress is just kind of sitting back and letting it happen. That type of energy. It could also be that this Empress is very much in her masculine. It could be that the Empress is very much in her masculine. She's taking a lot of negative action, which is making her. It's interesting that the cards came out this way, though. Maybe they came out this way to kind of like depict that it could be either an internal struggle or a struggle with two different people. But the actions that this Empress are taking are shadowy actions. So it's going to be different for all of you. This could be you. This could be you. This could be somebody else. So you discern whether this is talking about you or somebody else, right? We have Queen of Cups. I like to assume that the people who are actually watching my videos aren't the ones taking shadowy actions, only because I tend to feel like, but that might be a little bit of a bias on my side. But I feel like the people who tend to watch tarot readings are usually not the people taking shadowy actions. I don't know, maybe that's a bias that I have. But I always like to just say, like, discern whether or not you are a person that's taking uninspired action. Because we usually know when we do something that's not the greatest, right? So it's like, is that you or is that not? This is the Capricorn reading. Because there's also a Queen of Cups here. There's another feminine energy here that this Empress and this King of Wands are affecting. And this Queen of Cups may have even had to put up boundaries against, this could be you, right? This could be you having to put up boundaries against these, because you also have the Nine of Pentacles, which is talking about building something independently. You may have gone off independently, like maybe this is a family structure where there's a double energy here and you're trying to like step out of that cycle. I feel like who these players are is going to be different for all of you. But there is a cycle here. There's a negative cycle here, toxic cycle, that someone is trying to step out of, right? There's someone here who is a good person. They're empathic. They feel a lot. This is Cancer energy. They're a feeler. And they've said, like, these energies here aren't the greatest. The Empress reverse and the King of Wands reverse, these energies aren't the greatest, right? So this Queen of Cups has had to say, listen, I need to put up boundaries around the Empress and the Queen of Wands and King of Wands, right? I need to put boundaries up, and I'm going off independently, right? So, you know, I think by that, if that's you, you know that's you. If that's someone else in your life, then you may be the Empress reverse or the King of Wands reverse, right? So that's kind of how you can tell who this is talking about here. And if someone in your life has walked away and said, listen, I can't deal with you, and they're doing things independently, then I would really look at, I'm not going to say for sure you're the King King of Wands reversed. You've been doing shadowy stuff. I'm not going to say that for sure, right? Because I don't know, and it's going to be different for everybody. But I would say, really look at yourself and say, what were the actions I've taken? Were they shadowy, right? Like, because, like, do you see the cycle that you're in? Do you see that you're in a cycle that's devil energy? That's a negative cycle, right? Do you see that? Because if you don't see that, then that may be an indication that you're not the Queen of Cups in this scenario, right? Because the Queen of Cups definitely sees this devil energy. This Queen of Cups is aware of it. This Queen of Cups has stepped out of it, and you know, she's living her life more independently. So that is the reading for Capricorn. I will go on to Aquarius now. Okay, Aquarius. We have Raven Spirit with Truth. We have Mystic Meadow with Sanctuary. We have Toadstools with Growth. And we have Wise Woman of the Grove with Grace. So there's a truth that may have been difficult for you because you may feel like you need to take sanctuary in some kind of way. But this situation is going to give you growth. And you need to have the grace. You need to have patience, and you need to have grace with yourself during this process. Maybe there's a truth that's been difficult. Maybe there's been a truth about you that's been difficult for you to take in. Right? And it's kind of like, I need a minute. I need a minute to like really like let this marinate and really think about this, because maybe it is a difficult truth that's going to give you like, there may be some energy there that needs to be transmuted. Maybe you become aware of an aspect of yourself that's not that great, right? And it's like, okay, I've been wounded because I just figured out something about myself that maybe doesn't make me happy about myself, right? So let me take a little sanctuary. Let me take a little time to myself, you know, transmute some energy, you know, grow from this, and give myself grace during this process. And it might also be someone else. Maybe there's a truth that you've had to deliver to someone else. And maybe you're like, where did they go? And maybe this reading is trying to tell you that they're taking sanctuary because they're trying to process the truth that they've been given about themselves. I think there's a truth here that's hard to deal with. Because Justice card reversed, there's something that's been exposed. There's something that is like clear now, like almost on a universal level, like a spiritual level. Yeah, this person, you got the Hermit card. This person's taking sanctuary. You or someone else. I mean, I feel like it's you. Okay, you got Hermit, you got Wheel of Fortune, you got Ace of Swords reversed. This, oh my gosh. Yeah. Hierophant. You learned something that was difficult, right? Queen of Swords, about this person. I don't know who the Queen of Swords is to you, but the Queen of Swords represents a feminine energy of like intellect, intuition. Like she's carrying the sword of truth, right? But she's taking actions that aren't very compassionate, aren't very kind and considerate to other. Like they're not taking other people's feelings into consideration, right? So there's some kind of truth. Whoever this Queen of Swords reverse is to you, is who we're talking about here. So you might have learned a truth about this person. You might have learned something that this person did, like something, it doesn't have to be recently, just something that this person did. There's something that was revealed. There's something that's clear and it's difficult, right? So you or someone else has had to go hermit mode to kind of deal with this truth here. So give yourself grace during this process, or give the other person grace during this process. You have the Hierophant. There may be something. So this truth may not even be like a horrible thing that someone did, right? It might not. With the Hierophant coming out, I feel like it may just be something that goes against tradition, goes against social norms. Yeah. So an Aquarius is very free spirited. Yeah, there's something about, because this is the energy at the back of the deck, the back of the reading. So there's something about wanting to conform to tradition, social norms. This may be about a marriage. But there's something about that this truth that has come out goes against that. This may be you or maybe someone else. The reason I'm thinking about it is because Aquarius is very anti-establishment. So it may be that someone has learned the truth about something that you did. That's, or just something about how, because you know what was coming to my mind too, was just like, sometimes like how we are as people can fly in the face of like tradition, of social norms, right? Like if I come out as LGBTQ or something like that, like there may be a lot of people around me that like are really, finding that a hard truth to deal with, right? So it doesn't necessarily need to be like I did something horrible. It could just be that there's something going on. There's some kind of truth that was discovered that is flying in the face of traditional norms and values. So that is all I have for you, Aquarius. I hope that was helpful. I hope you could resonate with that. I feel like if this is happening in your life, you're definitely going to be like, oh my God. And if it's not, you're going to be like, I have no idea what she's talking about. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the reading and I hope you come back. I'm going to move on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces, let's see what's going on with you. Okay, we have Phoenix for transmutation. We have Pine Spirit with purification. And we have Wood Nymph with beauty. There's something, I think there's something, Pisces, that was recently transmuted. There's an energy that was recently transmuted that's helping you see the beauty in something that maybe you didn't see the beauty in before. Because we have to be on the frequency. We have to be on the energetic frequency to see it, right? And sometimes we're not on that frequency. I'm interested to see what your reading says, because your last few readings, have talked about a lot of confusion. Okay, there's something that's been a burden for you. You have Ten of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, two tens. Ten of Pentacles is about abundance. Maybe something that seemed like a burden now looks like you're looking at it in like more of an abundant way, like you're appreciating it more. Like I was saying, there's something that was transmuted and you're appreciating the beauty of something in a way that you didn't before. You have the Star card reversed. There's a need for healing here. Seven of Pentacles. There's something that's been building for a while. Oh, you have the Tower. Seven of Swords. This card, I feel like this card has been coming out for Pisces. I feel like you're being lied to about something, and I think that when you figure out what it is, it's going to cause a Tower moment for you. Maybe it's a lie that's been building up for a while. Tower moments are always there to cause a spiritual awakening for us. So lean into it when it comes up for you. I feel like you've transmuted some energy, but there's something coming down the pike for you. There's something that you're still not recognizing. There's something that you're not seeing, you're being lied to about with the Seven of Swords. You're not seeing it, you're being lied to about it. And when you finally see it, it's going to cause a Tower moment for you. So there's something coming. This is an interesting journey to follow week to week, because that same energy keeps coming out. And the Seven of Swords, there's something Pisces is being lied to right now. What is the lie? I've been having a hard time figuring out what the lie is here. Well, it's going to be different for everybody, so... What is the lie? Yep, see, confusion. The Moon card. It's been coming out for Pisces every week. There's a resistance to leaning on spirit. There's a surrender that is needed, Pisces. And it's gonna come, because when this bombed, there's something that's dropping. Yeah, and there's ten of Swords. There's gonna be the end of something. This is the third 10 that's come out. That's 3 10s. Completion. I don't know if there's a significance to 3 10s. Let me look it up. I have to look that up. 3 or more 10s in a reading suggests contracts, legal documents, or the purchase or sale of a home, car, or business. They represent a period of immense change in your life, but the change should be good. So this may be related to some kind of legal document. But there's a burden, there's abundance, and there's endings. Is what these 3 tens mean. What's the last 10? 10 of Cups. Yeah, see, the 10 of Cups didn't come out. And 10 of Cups is about having everything you want in the physical and having everything you want in the spiritual. So if you're getting ready to sign a document for something, I would, first of all, I would not rush into that because there's some kind of lie that needs to be uncovered. Because I think there's going to be this, if there's a document that's getting ready to be signed, it's going to be a burden and it's going to come with some kind of ending. But there is going to be abundance attached to it too. So, interesting reading. I would really, I wouldn't sign any kind of document until I know the facts on everything, because there's something that you're being lied to about here. And there's a Tower moment that's going to come in that's meant to cause a bit of a, spiritual awakening. It doesn't have to be like a full-blown spiritual awakening. It can just be like you opening up your consciousness to a higher level, to a higher degree, right? So this is it for you, Pisces. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Hope you could resonate with it, and I will see you all next week. Bye.